Yes, Asmit, you can join. Yes.
Hi, sir. Good evening. Am I audible?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
कैसे हैं आप? How are you?
I'm all good, sir. I'm all good. Thanks for inviting me.
Just a minute. मेरा live वाला भी I think तो just a minute. Yes. Actually मेरा live वाला भी on था. Yes. तो अस्मित कैसा बैंगलोर में कैसा मौसम है?
So weather is too good. मैं सिर्फ कहानियां सुनता था बैंगलोर की, but actually when I came here, I realized the weather is actually very good. जून
एसी
के
चलता
मौसम में
है?
you get to
एसी नहीं चलता ना वहाँ पे?
नहीं नहीं एसी का नीड ही नहीं है. लाइक इवन अभी जून जुलाई के महीने में भी वर wearing hoodies at some days, so weather is good.
एंड व्हाट अबाउट कानपुर? कानपुर के बारे में बताओ. मैनचेस्टर ऑफ द ईस्ट.
Yes, yes. कानपुर सर मेरा घर है कानपुर में. I have been in Kanpur for more than 12 years. And Kanpur, so during my college, I was mostly in my college. So काफी time से I haven't been living in Kanpur.
Okay.
But yeah, Kanpur as a city is a very jovial city. It's one of the
You're
happiest
from
city in the country.
you're from IT Kanpur or Kharagpur?
I graduated from IIT Kharagpur back in 2021.
So Asmit, let me introduce Asmit to everyone. Asmit has done the graduation from IIT Kharagpur, and right now he's in IIM Bangalore in the PGP MBA student. So 500 students have already joined. So abhi, I think these people would be summing up more and more. तो जब बड़ा होता रहेगा आपका group. Now, Asmit, this target segment are the people who will be going for CAT 2025. And there might be some people who would be going for CAT 2026.
Yes,
So
sir.
batches 2026 के भी start हो गए.
Mhm.
So Asmita, what I would like you to address is these people, and whatever the way you think आप guide जैसे भी करना चाहें, you can do that. Now the whole thing will be yours, and I'll be switching my audio and the video off. Okay,
Sure.
comfortable?
Yes,
Yes. So, you can start.
sure. So I think sir has already introduced me, so I'll skip that part. But uh, so yeah, so a lot of you guys, I believe, will be aiming for CAT 2025, and some of you will be aiming for CAT 2026. And now, since there are only 4 months left to CAT exam, like it is a high time that you have to start looking into CAT as a whole exam. So, like when I talk about CAT, if I talk about my journey, so just give you guys all a perspective कि मैं कहाँ से आया हूँ, how my life was before CAT. So I graduated in 2021 and I was working for almost 4 years. So like after working for like at some quite some work ex, so after working for some years, like have you really have some dependency, like you have responsibilities. So वह ये time बहुत कम मिलता है. So given that you have very short amount of time, it's all about time management. So I think in that sense, like I was working from 10 in the morning to 9 p.m. in the night, and then I have to take out time for CAT. So I think having been through that phase, I think I'm suitable and qualified to answer how to prepare for CAT in 4 months. Now coming back to CAT, CAT as an exam, I see CAT as three separate exams and not just one exam. So why? Because like you get equal amount of time for three areas and you cannot ignore any single area. So CAT, like, so now there are three components, VARC, DILR, and Quant. Now now since there are only 4 months left, the first most important thing according to me is to understand where you lie right now. Like you definitely want to aim for a particular score, but now at this point in time, you want to understand where you stand. So like what I mean to say is, आप जब prepare कर रहे हो, so like you might be some of you might be preparing since March, some of you might have started a bit later, June, July, etc. But now coming to August, you should understand कि कितना हो गया है और कितना बाकी है. So that is where what worked for me to understand this is giving mocks and preparing trackers. So one by one, coming to mocks. So I think mock session starts somewhere in the start of June, if I'm not wrong, somewhere around May. So it's important that you guys start giving mocks because since there's only 4 months left, you want to understand which are your weak areas and which are your strong areas. And the second thing I mentioned was create a tracker. You should always keep a track of like where are you in your preparation. So how I used to track my journey was to like basically like you have, especially if I talk about quant as a subject. So quant may you have many topics. So just create an Excel sheet or just create a sheet where you list down all the topics and you rate yourself in those topics. Like after every let's say 2 weeks, you rate yourself in those topics. So you get to know which topics are your weak areas and which are your strong areas. So now yeah, so first and most important thing for you guys is to understand where you stand. And now talking about different sections. So CAT, as I said, there's 3 separate exams altogether, and all like the 3 sections, the strategy to aim these 3 sections is very different. So starting from VARC. Now, VARC, what I see, like VARC, according to me, I believe that VARC's preparation starts outside of VARC actually. Like how I see VARC is like you should love to read. So now some of you might be wondering like VARC, like usually it's a subsection where either you're very good or you're very bad, or you're transitioning in between. So I was not being from a mathematical background and being an engineer, I was not very good at naturally at English because I also did not have a habit of reading. So for VARC, my suggestion would be that just start reading. Start reading as diverse topics as you can. Start reading your articles. You have many free resources for articles. And start reading books if you can. Like for me, what worked was I started reading books. I started reading books even before I started preparing for my CAT exam. So that habit of reading actually, once you have that joy of reading, you are not just reading for answering questions, you're actually reading for understanding the topic. That becomes very important in VARC. So yeah, just try to read as many diverse topics as you can because in VARC, like you often get a mix of topics and uh, it can happen that there are certain topics, certain areas which you do not like reading about. So answering questions which are difficult or which might be from multiple paragraphs becomes difficult. So my suggestion to you all will be to start reading articles, start reading as much as you can, and start reading for the joy of reading and not just for answering questions. So I hope this will help you all. And if I come to DILR, now DILR as a section is really testing your core competencies. There are a set of questions which come, like there are a pattern of questions, but there is a vast variety of sets that can be made out of them. So in DILR, personally in my journey, what helped me to score well in DILR was that I started solving puzzles. Again, same thing as VARC. My preparation for CAT was also outside of CAT. So while working, I used to take out some time to solve puzzles like Sudoku. Sudoku and Kakuro are two great puzzles which can really like if you be good at those puzzles, you can be great at solving DILR because those are all about pattern recognition. And in my opinion, DILR is also testing the similar competencies in you. So solve as many as puzzles as you can and try to solve at least one or two DILR sets every single day. And there are many resources online which you can find. There are many free resources shared by EduShastra also. So try to just solve one or two DILR sets every day and just not solve them. When you solve them, try seeking solutions, like try understanding, even if you have solved a DILR set, try to understand how could I have done it better. Oftentimes, when you look at the solutions of any DILR set solved by any mentor, you will see that mentor is following a set approach, and that approach is getting to the answer quickly. That is what matters in CAT. Like in my opinion, in my personal opinion, like if you're given more than 1 hour to the DILR set, most of you will be able to solve like at least 4 sets comfortably, 3 to 4 sets comfortably. But so DILR, the time becomes very important, and question selection. When you solve so many sets, you get to understand which are the type of sets that you are very comfortable with. So try to aim for that low hanging fruits. You always want to maximize the output per minute in your exam, and that's very true for DILR, also for every other section. So that's my take on DILR. Now coming to quant, one of my favorite sections. So quant is the only section where there's a defined syllabus. You have, all the topics, and you can really plan your quant preparation, uh, like plan your quant preparation in a designed way, is that in a tracked way. So as I mentioned, when I mentioned tracker, I was mostly mentioning it for quant. So create a tracker for yourself. Now, you just have 4 months in your hand. So your priority should be to understand your strengths and your weaknesses in quant, because quants, like even quant syllabus is very vast, and over time, the CAT, like arithmetic was the primary focus, but over time, they are moving towards algebra and other topics as well. So you cannot simply ignore any topic, but yeah, there are some topics which you can cover quickly and ensure that you are answering most of the questions that come in the exam, which are, of course, your algebra, your arithmetic, and your geometry. So, so now, just having just 4 months in your hand, how you can prepare for quant is, first thing, understand where you are strong and where you're weak. And 4 months is an ample amount of time to convert those weakness into your strengths. So try to go through the theory, finish the theory as soon as you can, and practice alongside. Try to increase the level of difficulty. And in quant, another thing that really helped me was to just sit down with a question. If I'm stuck at a question, I'll solve that question, and I'll also think about variations of the same question. So you don't have to wait till you find that another question with some variation. So when you find a difficult question, note down that question and try to think about variation. I'll give you an example. Like let's say there's a hexagon. Let's say you are given a question about hexagon, and uh, you set to find the area of a shaded region. Now you can shade answer after solving that question. You can shade different region and ask yourself, what if this particular region was asked? How would I solve this? So that really helped me, and I think that will be very helpful for you guys also to like build your competencies in quant as a subject. So now having covered all the three sections, now taking CAT as a whole is a different ball game. Like when I talk about different sections, uh, like individually you can attempt these sections, you can give your sectionals, but then when you give CAT exam as a whole, you definitely there's an exhaustion factor that comes into picture, especially like after you're done from your VARC, then you go to DILR, and DILR can be an exhausting section. So from that you have to go to quant. So you should be able to sit down for 2 hours and have 100% focus on your exam. So that is why I feel that giving mocks on a regular basis is very important. Like on a regular basis, like 4 months, since you have 4 months, you can start giving at least 2 to 3 mocks per month. So I used to give mocks every 2 weeks. And why I used to give mocks every 2 weeks and I was not someone who gave mocks like every week was because it worked out for me in a way that I was much heavy into analysis of my mocks. So giving mocks for me was uh, a way to test myself on where I stand. But analysis of mock was where I was actually learning. So what I used to analyze in my mocks. So I used to analyze which are the key areas where I'm lacking, and what are the mistakes that I'm making in the exam, because those are the mistakes that you really want to avoid. Now, since like we're talking about mocks, so how now there are different elements of mock exam. Like you have to ace your subjects as well as you have to understand what works best for you. So as an example, like for VARC, I tried various combinations. I tried attempting VA first. I tried attempting RC first. I tried mixing and matching between them. So I realized I said a particular combination works out the best for me. and you will only realize it once you give many mocks. So that's why it becomes very important for you to understand what works best for you. And yeah, I think I've covered mocks. And also, if now what common mistakes you can do. Uh, I think so. If you think about it, like in CAT exam, time is of the essence. Every minute is important. And if you're stuck at a question, you should be able to leave it and go further, go ahead to the next question. I have often seen that a lot of candidates who might be the first time CAT takers and who might just have been starting with their preparations often fall into this trap. There are certain questions which are designed in a way that you are supposed to waste time on those questions. And it's your responsibility to understand that, okay, I may not be able to solve this one particular question in, let's say, 2 to 3 minutes, let's say 2 minutes max. Then I should be confident enough to leave that question behind and jump to the next question. So that becomes very important. Your question selection is a key element of that exam. So now, with 4 months in hand, I've given a general perspective and my 2 cents on the CAT exam as a whole. Now, with 2 months, how you can prepare? That is the most important thing. I think most of you want to listen, came here to listen to this. So I feel again, like in 4 months, you have to first jot down your weaknesses, especially in quant. Try to go finish the theory as soon as you can, and make sure that you get comfortable with those areas, because still, like, there's ample amount of time for you to work on your weaknesses. Coming to VARC, start reading as many articles as you can, start giving mocks, and start understanding like what works best for you. Do you want to read the passage entirely before going to the questions? Some people go have a glance at the questions and then come back to the passage. According to me, like what works best for me was to read the entire passage and go to the questions next. So, but for that, you have to increase your reading speed, and for that, you have to read a lot. So just try make a habit of reading every day. Maybe just a lot of you might be working same as me. So what I used to do was I allocated 1 hour every day for reading, like before going to bed or after waking up, at least 1 hour. No matter how busy I am, I was reading. Even though I planned that, okay, today I might be finishing a quant topic, but even if I'm lagging behind on that particular area, I still use that 1 hour to read. And similarly, you can give 1 hour to your DILR solving. So you have to allocate time each day to all the three sections. And that becomes very crucial because with the with progression of time, as you give more and more marks, you might be confused as to how to increase your marks. So in my opinion, there is like in my journey, personal journey, there came a point where my score stuck at a certain level. So then it becomes very important for you. Like if you have understood what were your weak areas, you can actually quickly adapt and try to increase your score. If you are not even aware of where you are lacking marks, what is causing you to not be able to score above a certain score, you will not be able to quickly work upon improving that aspect. So Uh, yeah, I think that is what I had to share today. Would love to answer any questions that you guys have.
So the first, I think the question should be coming from me. कि माइक मेरे पास है तो मैं पहले बोलूँगा. So Asmit, when you look at the profile of yours, एक IIT, IIM kind of a profile, it makes sense कि IIT के बाद IIM you are coming to. But right now, if you're looking at your batch, what kind of a diversity you see? How much percentage of engineers you see in your batch?
So percentage of engineers are definitely on a higher side. There are around 70% of engineers. However, this other 30% is very diverse. Like we have doctors with us, we have many CAs, we have lawyers. So there's ample amount of diversity, and I think Bangalore is especially known for diversity because people have relatively higher amount of work ex here. So, like if you look from that perspective, also like there are many people who have worked at different industries. So classroom discussions are really interesting, and in that aspect, I think Bangalore is really standing out.
And Smith, क्या आपका let's say long term, short term goals क्या है? 5 year down the line, 10 years down the line, where exactly we'll see Smith in?
So 5 year down the line, I want to be myself. I want to be a part of something which gives me value. Like I want to be take ownership of some product which I'm working on. Basically, create some value to the end consumer, and I want to see myself in a leadership role. So I hope I'll be able to work upon that here at Bangalore.
तो starting में तो नहीं होगा ऐसा. Maybe
Yes,
5
definitely.
years to long term हो गया. Let's say if you're looking at 5 year plan kind of a thing, so what kind of industry are you looking for? Is it like consultancy or anything? Just like every IIM guy will talk about consultancy first, and then after that, second, third choices. So what exactly you are aiming for?
Okay. So, so I came from a tech consulting background, and I would want to continue my consulting stint as well as try explore other areas as well. So I don't have a fixed mindset as of now. I am here to explore what works out best for me, and as of now, I'm leaning towards consulting and product management, but I'm open to other fields as well.
Just with many of the times हम ये ऐसे टीचर्स हमारे चैलेंज हम फील करते हैं कि नॉन इंजीनियर्स आर नॉट वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट अगर कंपेयर टू हम इंजीनियर्स को देख रहे होते हैं, जबकि ऐसे टीचर्स वी कुड सी कि नॉन इंजीनियर्स मेनी ऑफ द टाइम्स बोथ बैचेस में नॉन इंजीनियर्स आर मच मच बेटर देन द इंजीनियर्स, लेकिन तब भी वो कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल का जो डिफरेंस क्रिएटेड होता है. So how exactly, as it, let's say if you are addressing a batch in which you see non-engineers much more, much more, I would say, capable of performing compared to engineer, but then also their confidence level is low. How exactly you will handle that batch? How exactly you will work on the confidence factor?
Okay. So personally, I've seen in at IIM Bangalore, almost everybody looks confident. So so yeah, but if I am facing that situation, I think
पास आउट है, वो अचीव कर चुके हैं. आपका जब आप अचीव कर लेते हैं तो ह्यूमन क्वालिटी क्या है, वो तो अपने आप को भगवान ही समझता है. अभी
yes, yes.
अभी वो स्टेज है. अभी एक स्टेज वो होता है जब आप तैयारी करते हैं, जब usually what happens is like I've seen batch just like कि अगर दो आईआईटीएंस बैठे हुए हैं तो people usually वो मैथ्स का आंसर्स भी करते हैं तो उनकी तरफ पहले देखते हैं, टीचर्स को बाद में देख रहे हैं. तो जबकि आई कीप ऑन सेइंग कि you have a much better math skills compared to an IITian. तो वो how you, if you were in my position, आप कैसे हैंडल करते हैं उसे?
Sir, I think it's all about making the other person realize कि मतलब you're not, since you are at a certain position and you're aiming for something, like you start from scratch. So like you can leave your past behind, and like basically everybody is talented in a way. अब वो किसी ने अगर 12th में पढ़ के like he made it to a good college, so that's just a one time thing. Like you cannot really like judge yourself on based on your
So
past performance.
one good day of your life, yes.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so एक क्वेश्चन हम जब even I think you would have done prepared for it. Why MBA kind of a क्वेश्चन को ऐसे हैंडल करें, जो स्टेटमेंट ऑफ पर्पस हम बोलते हैं. आप क्यों MBA कर रहे हैं, तो how people should handle it. How did you handle it?
Okay. So I'll talk about my experience first. So I think why MBA question, one thing that I've noticed in people that they try to frame that question कि क्यों करना है MBA. Now I am giving CAT, I've got a good percentile. Now I start thinking about why MBA. But my take on this is like before giving CAT, start thinking about why MBA, because then all your CAT preparation is also kind of boosted because now you have high morale because I want to do an MBA. That's why I want to score good in CAT, not the other way around. So why MBA should come from inside of you, from within you, and you should be clear on what you want to do. Like lot of times now when I say this, you should be clear. Even I was not clear what I want to do. Even while answering a question also, I was not very clear. So yeah, so that happens. Like you don't know which industry you want to go to, but you should at least know that you're ready to learn. You're willing to like come out of your comfort zone because MBA really pushes you for that. You want to grow as an individual. So, and also you should understand like how your life has been so far, because then only you will realize, okay, now these are my aspirations and this has been my history, and how will I align it to my MBA journey? Because in MBA, a lot of time what happens is you are exposed with a lot of opportunities, and there's just not enough time to use all of them. So you really have to be picky on what you want to do. So that's why MBA is very important. Why MBA stays when we are doing an MBA also. If we lose track of why we came here, we'll be lost with like plethora of opportunities that are there, and you will not be able to really streamline our MBA journey. So I think that becomes very important for anyone.
इसमें there are many students have joined in this session. इसमें ऐसे भी लोग होंगे जो many of the people would be in the college times, like graduation हो रहा होगा, maybe engineering, maybe commerce, maybe science. At that time, how much important for a student it is to go for internships, to do projects with the companies? I've seen two kind of people. Like the people जो होते हैं जो they will be running to industries and companies and taking projects, and there are some people who would be preparing only for academic kind of a situation. So वो भागा दौड़ी जो हो रही है कंपनी में, भाग रहे हैं, प्रोजेक्ट्स ले रहे हैं, दिखा रहे हैं, how does it affect in the interview process?
Sir, I think like लोग भाग दौड़ भी इसलिए करते हैं क्योंकि they want something to show to somebody. Like there is a filter mechanism. So I think this is one of the topics which can be debated. But there is a set defined filter mechanism in even if you talk about MBA selections or you talk about job application. So that makes it at least like kind of a mandatory requirement for you to have some X amount of things in your resume. So that is why people do that. So I believe like so it's as per me, I think it's the necessity of today's world to actually be involved in something. At least like if you are studying and you want to improve your profile, there are only set number of ways to do so within a short span of time. So you can either do internship, you can take projects as you mentioned, or people do academic, they write papers, they do research projects, etc. But
they do it, yes.
but my main thing here, main thing that I would like to say is that since you are anyway doing it, do it with a purpose. Like internalize that you are going to do it, not just do it for like sake of writing it in your CV. So when you start doing that, I think it will not become a bhagadori. It will like kind of become that, okay, I did that and I learned it and I want to learn it further. So also it helps you to align your interest also, because then when you work on something, you realize, okay, do I want to work on it for a long term or not? So in that sense, I think it is important for you guys to have, like for everyone to have at least some credible points to showcase anybody that I'm interested in a program or I'm interested in a job or an industry. But at the same time, when you're doing so, do so with a purpose.
जैसे even आपके बैच में भी, even बाकी बैचेस में भी, many of the companies like consultancy firm like McKinsey हुआ, BCG हुआ, TPG हुआ, ये तो पहले ही जो मार्किंग है या लिमिटेशन कर देते हैं कि परसेंटाइल या रैंकिंग का, तो ऑब्वियसली वो तो चीज़ दिखा रहा है कि जो पढ़ाई अच्छी कर रहा है या जिसके मार्क्स अच्छे आ रहे हैं, तो मार्क्स आपकी सिर्फ समझ से नहीं आ रहे होते हैं. इवन मोस्ट ऑफ द मार्क्स तो ये है कि एक पॉइंट को मैं 10 लाइन में लिख दूं तो मार्क्स ज़्यादा हो जाते हैं. तो द पॉइंट सेइंग इज, ये तो आपके टाइम भी प्लेसमेंट्स में और मैनी द टाइम्स कंसल्टेंसी फर्म्स तो करती हैं, मतलब कि यार ये तो हमें 10% वाले लोग ही भेजो इंटरव्यूज के लिए. ऑब्वियसली उनके पास डिमांड सप्लाई गेम है, तो सप्लाई ज़्यादा है तो करेंगे. तो इन दैट वे तो आपके बैच में भी बोलना चाहिए क्या छोड़ो प्रोजेक्ट्स, लर्निंग कौन करेगा यार, अपना रैंकिंग बनाओ, मार्क्स बनाओ, परसेंटाइल पे आओ, गोल्ड मेडल लो और मैकेंजी और बीसीजी में चले जाओ. तो इन रियलिटी तो वो चीज़ नहीं चल रहा है. मतलब लर्निंग इज नॉट ए बेस. Base is always the ranking, which is not based upon the learning factor. It is more about how much well you can read a book and straight away, आप बुक ही वापस पब्लिश कर दो आंसर, तो यू विल गेट ए गुड मार्क्स. यूजुअली अगर समझना होता तो एमसीक्यू पे आंसर होता ना. चलो व्हाई टू गो इनटू दिस काइंड ऑफ डिस्कशन. अच्छा नाउ एक अब खत्म करते हैं, एक थोड़ा सा एक ट्रिकी क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ। मतलब व्हाई ओनली टू आस्क द राइट को, मतलब सिर्फ इजी क्वेश्चन को पूछने हैं। आप जब प्राइम मिनिस्टर हो जाएंगे तब मैं पूछूंगा, लेकिन अभी तो मैं डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन एक पूछता हूँ आपसे। द क्वेश्चन इज आर द पीपल द IIMB ABC वाले, are they being trained to a good employee, or are they being trained for a good entrepreneur?
Sir, I think they are trained to be good individuals, in my opinion. And then most of us fall into the category of employees because we have financial burdens and we have certain expectations, and life is running fast in India, especially like when you're done with an MBA. People start looking to settle down, at least in like 3, 4 years. So in that sense, it's not about MBA. What IIMs are doing, it's all about like how societal structure is there. So I think in that sense, why people are going more towards employment and less towards entrepreneurship because of the financial burden. The people take loans also, and IIM programs are expensive. So, but not just IIMs, like other top B school programs are all expensive. So in that sense, people are not able to start their own ventures like right after the B schools. When is the best time to start?
You missed the question. I'm not saying what I know that आपके बैच में सभी प्लेसमेंट्स में बैठेंगे। आई नो दैट दे इवन जो आपके सीनियर्स भी हैं कहीं वर्क ही कर रहे हैं। आई नो
Mm-hmm.
दैट हम जानते हैं, हम बच्चों के नाम से भी जानते होंगे।
Mm-hmm.
तो पॉइंट व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज द ट्रेनिंग पार्ट। मैं ये कह रहा हूँ 2 साल का जो ट्रेनिंग है, इज इट मेकिंग ए गुड एम्प्लॉई, ए गुड मैनेजर और एक गुड एंटरप्रेन्योर? वो आपको ट्रेनिंग पार्ट की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं इवेंचुअली तो जानता हूँ,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
वो तो ओपन है दुनिया को।
Okay.
प्लीज मुझे वो ट्रेनिंग पार्ट को आपके अनुसार हाउ डू यू फील, हाउ डू यू सी दैट?
Okay. So thanks for clarifying the question. So I think training part, we are all taught to be good managers. Because why I say managers, because uh, MBA में जो पढ़ाई होती है इसमें you just don't study about the industry, the subject. You also try एक the course is designed in a way कि आप interlink करते हो सारी चीजें. You study marketing, you study accounting. There's an interlink in marketing and accounting, and groups are like your group projects. You have many group projects and presentations where you actually try understand different industries and work like use all the concepts that you have learned so far. So in that sense, I think they really teach you to be a good manager overall and be a good leader in future because you then understand everything from a top down perspective. ऐसे ही जब हम अपना अंडर ग्रेजुएशन करके आते हैं तो हमारे पास एक लिमिटेड वो होता है मतलब बिजनेस सेंस में हम चीजें समझ नहीं पाते। हम प्रोसेस देखते हैं, हम टूल देखते हैं, हम कोड कोड करते हैं तो वो आउटपुट देखते हैं, बट वी आर नॉट ऑल ऑफ अस आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड द बिगर पिक्चर। तो वो जो बिगर पिक्चर होता है, आई थिंक एमबीए रियली टीचेस यू दैट। So in that sense, we all are taught to be good managers.
एक्चुअली मैं और क्वेश्चन पूछना नहीं चाहता, लेकिन आपने जो आंसर किया ना, एक क्वेश्चन वन मोर एक्चुअली कैप्टन। when you are taught how companies work,
Mm-hmm.
how a successful company works in HR or process or operations, uh, उस कंपनी ने वो चीज कहीं डिवाइस नहीं किया है, वो
Correct.
कंपनी ने एवोल्यूशनरी सीखा है। मतलब
Correct.
आई एम रनिंग ए कंपनी, मैंने एक
Mm-hmm.
पॉलिसी बनाया, कल उससे नुकसान हो गया, आई सेड ये मत करना, तो वो एक बुक बनता गया। वो बुक जब एक एमबीए कॉलेज में पढ़ाया जा रहा है, तो वो बेस उसका क्या, वो बेस क्या था कि मैंने जूते खाया, मैंने उसे नहीं किया, मुझे रसगुल्ला मिला, मैंने और किया, तो उसे किताब बनाता गया। अब इसे हम स्टैंडर्ड ऑपरेटिंग प्रोसीजर बोलते हैं।
Correct.
जी इलेक्ट्रिकल्स का पढ़ते हैं आप, एचआर में ये सब कुछ पढ़ेंगे आप, मार्केटिंग या फिलिप कॉटलर हो या जो भी हो। what exactly you'll be studying is what successful people or the companies are doing or have done, etc. But when you move into that company, जब आप वो कंपनी के ओनर से पूछोगे कि सर आपका तो सारा केस स्टडी हम पढ़ते हैं, तो वो आपको क्या कहेगा, सर मेरा कोई रूल नहीं है, मैंने जूता खाया था इस वजह से मैंने वो नहीं किया। अच्छा नाउ चलिए, इट वाज ग्रेट टॉकिंग टू यू अस्मित, एंड बहुत अच्छा लगा आपसे बात करके, एंड वी वुड बी ट्रैकिंग यू, एंड जब आप आई थिंक प्लेसमेंट्स में जाएंगे, एंड आफ्टर दैट वी विल बी आल्सो गेटिंग इन टच विद यू वंस अगेन।
Thank you, Bhupal sir, for
Thanks.
inviting me here. It was nice to talk to you all, and I hope I added some value to everybody who joined.
गेट वाली आप में ना एक बहुत अच्छी क्वालिटी है जो आपके काफी बैचमेट्स में नहीं है, वो है ह्यूमिलिटी आप में, तो विच आई रियली लाइक।